Hey guys, welcome back to Life with the Cujos Homestead Edition. Speaking of which, I feel like I've had a lot of people ask me what makes a homesteader, and to which I would say, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I do know that it is a lot different now. Modern homesteading is a lot different than it was in the 1800s. But I would say for me, when I just realized how much of a consumer I was, when I would open up my Gmail and I would go into my promotions tab and I would just get sucked into, for one, just maybe buying frivolous things. And then I would look at my bank account and be like, oh, Amazon, 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 Amazon. Why did we need all this stuff? Like, it got to the point where I was so overwhelmed by how much I consumed that I just didn't even feel good about it anymore. And so I was, I'm a creative person. I have always said, well, I can make that. And so I think for me, it was just getting to the point of not wanting to be such a consumer and figuring out what I could make, how I could, help reduce, waste and just be like, take care of this piece of property that we have better and, feed my family better food. One thing that I wanted to talk about today is soap making. And I am in a garden club, which I absolutely adore. And a couple months ago, they taught us how to make cold process soap, which was amazing. And it really just inspired me. And I thought, okay, soap and cleaning products are one of the things that, like, I spent so much money on every month because, of course, I wanted to get good brands, non-toxic cleaners, non-toxic soaps. And wow, when you have a family of 7, that really adds up. So when we were at our garden club, they taught us how to make this soap. They actually made this for us, and it's lavender, and it's really awesome. And then I came home and I was, super inspired. So I made a bunch of soap that is honey oatmeal tallow soap. And so, I mean, just between these two soaps alone, I have all of this soap. This will last me months. And it's good for my skin. It's very moisturizing. But I wanted to try something a little bit different just because I like to switch up the scents, just like everyone else does. And I've been going back and forth between those two scents. And I really like goat's milk. So I decided to try the hot process soap instead. Was just the melt and pour, just for fun, for something to do that was different. And so what I did is, I'm going to flip this around. I cut up 2 pounds of goat's milk soap base, and I am just melting it over a double boiler. This is going to take me a little while. And then I'll get this all nice and melty, and then I'll come back and show you what we do next. Okay, so this took about close to 20 minutes, I would say, to melt down all the way. But it is nice and perfectly melted. I did let it cool down for about 2 minutes because I want to add some honey. Just like a couple teaspoons of honey. I don't know, this might be a full tablespoon by the time it's all said and done. I prefer the glug method. Unless I'm doing a cold process soap, then I don't think it is that huge of a deal to follow a recipe to a T. So that was some honey. I took some oats and ground them. This is going to just be really nice and soothing for skin. Put a couple tablespoons of that in there. This soap I will use for my body and my face. And then if you guys watched my last video about saving your scraps, then you would remember about the mandarin orange peels that I had saved and dehydrated. I just took a bunch and put them in my coffee / spice grinder. I wish you could smell this. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I actually got out my tangerine essential oil because I thought that I was going to have to add some essential oil to like really make it smell amazing. I don't. I'm telling you, this is like heaven. This is like, citrus scent is my favorite scent for anything. And so I just really wanted to make sure it was nice and citrusy smelling by the time it was all dry. This is going to be amazing. I am going to get a whisk and make sure that I whisk up these oats, because they do get a little bit clumpy. So let me whisk this up just a sec. Make sure I don't have just a bunch of clumps in here, because be weird. It does get kind of bubbly though when you do that. So I try not to do that too much. So I have that, and then I'm going to add in a bunch of this orange peel powder. I mean, it's not really powder, but it's pretty close to powder at this point. I wanted it to be really fine to get as much of the oils out of the peels as I could. And I'll probably have to use the whisk for this too, which is fine. Just, I'll go slower. You can add some turmeric if you want to for color. It'll just make it even more orange, which, I mean, I say why not? Like, just do it. I have a little bit here. Like, I have like maybe a half a teaspoon. I'm not even going to put all of this in there because it is a little bit orange from the orange peel. So I will put that in. It'll make it kind of bright orange, which is fun, especially with the spring coming up, but it smells very turmeric-y. I can still smell the orange. And then I have some calendula, which it keeps its color. Not all herbs and flowers keep their color when you put them into soap, but calendula does. It still looks just as nice and bright orange. So I'm putting that in there, and then she is ready. So I do have a block, which at our garden club, they had us bring a Pringles can, and we poured it into the Pringles can, and then you just peel it off when it's done. It was awesome. So here we're going to pour it into the square mold. And then I am going to top it with a little more of the petals, just because it's pretty looking. So I'll put this on it, and then I'm going to let this sit for a couple of days undisturbed. And then when it's nice and dry, you can pop it out and you can cut it. You want to dry or cut it before it's too dry though, so it doesn't crack. And honestly, I kind of hope these bubbles stay on the top because it looks really cool now. We'll see. I'll show you what it looks like in a couple of days when I get it all cut. But there she is. I don't want to tip it. I'll tip the phone. So I just want you to see what it looks like real quick. It's pretty. Between that and all of my soaps over here, I will be set for the year. I will not have to buy any soap for my body or my face, and I also use this to shave with because it's made with tallow, olive oil, lard, jojoba oil, vitamin E oil, like really good stuff in there, really moisturizing. And then I also made these dish soap solids that I will do another video about because this is a cold process soap and it takes a little bit more to make these, but it is really awesome because they last for a long time and they clean really well with a scrub brush. They clean your dishes really well. And again, something that you don't have to buy, and it's just, going to save you money. So I hope to see you in a little bit when we talk about how to do a cold process. Okay, so it's been 24 hours since we made this soap, and it looks and smells absolutely awesome. Still really pretty orange color. So we are going to go ahead and pop this out of the mold, and we are going to get it cut. While it is still soft, I'm going to use my cutter that came with it. I have never used this one before, but we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully it's easy. So, a nice silicone mold, just pop right out. Looks like quite a bit of the oatmeal kind of went to the bottom, but that's okay. So that's what it looks like when it's in a big, long brick. And I don't really know how to measure these to make sure that they are, you know, a good size and stuff. But there goes nothing. Perfection. So that's what it looks like with the little ridges on it. And I'll probably get a, just like my soft measuring tool out and just lay it down here to make sure they're all about a 1/2 inch. And yeah, and then I have to wait. I will wait probably about 4 weeks for it to cure. It'll make it a better lather, and it'll make sure it's harder so that it doesn't just totally dissolve in the water when I'm showering, and then, you know, it just doesn't last as long. It's not as good of a product if you don't let it cure, even though it is hot processed. So all right, well, thanks for following along, and we will get into cold process here shortly.